This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City.
Hello, I'm John Cullum, and this is my wife Emily, and we're going to talk.
We are going to do a post.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm waiting and
This
eager.
is easy for you.
Okay.
This is about politics and the people who I call the power guys. The people who are on the air all day long, like, for instance, Rush Limbaugh, or Glenn Beck,
Right,
or Jon Stewart,
right.
who are selling us the news and making news important by what they sell. That worries me, John.
Well, what worries you? What worries you about it? That they're making the news that is supposed to be the news. In other words, they're creating news.
I think so, aren't they?
To a certain extent, they are, because they have to fill up so much time, and they jabber. Now that on radio has been going on for a long time, and people just jabber, and they just say whatever they feel like doing. But now it's happening on television, and it's taking the place of news.
And also television is not just television, it's cable, it's internet, it gets expanded and expanded, so it's huge when an idea is suddenly a hot idea and going to be sold.
Yes. Or even sometimes they take some small incident, a local or regional bit of information, and blow it into a story that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they make as much as they can out of it, and then they usually end up with some kind of people making testimonials and all kinds. They make these stories out of practically nothing.
Well,
sometimes.
they make a lot of money. Rush Limbaugh makes $58 million a year. He
Yes.
gets more money than anybody. Glenn Beck is number 2. Jon Stewart makes $15 million.
Well,
Rachel Maddow, a new girl,
you know,
makes $2 million a year just from guest appearances when she is promoting the news.
well, you're not going to tell people how much we make. I mean, you'd be surprised.
Oh, you make a good living. I like.
I'm
the
talking
lady.
about these videos that we do. They don't know how much we make on.
Oh,
it.
we make a fortune on these
Yes,
videos.
that's
Oh,
right. But
John,
what?
is what we're hearing on the news something that we should think is true? Are we hearing the truth?
No, it's very difficult to make up your own mind when you hear people bombard you with these so-called facts, and they say them as if they've got proof behind them, but most of them are unsubstantiated things, and they're so exaggerated that they're frightening. So you have a tendency to think everything is an emergency.
Well, I think we've got a whole bunch of famous political entrepreneurs.
Yes.
These are guys that are earning mountains of money by
For saying things that are anything that's unfit to print.
Yeah, that's like the New York Times. All the news is fit to print. Remember Ed Murrow?
Yeah.
Well, those days we had Ed Murrow. He was on the news and we would listen, but he was not influencing us and telling us how to think, and that, I think, is what gets me
Well, he
concerned.
was influencing us, but he wasn't. He gave you both sides of the question, but then if he didn't like some particular idea, he'd push it too. And Walter Cronkite was the same way. But they usually didn't do it unless they felt it was very necessary.
Well, now we don't have in this group that I'm talking about people like Katie Couric or any of the famous. Brian Williams is not on this list. People who are earning a living as reporters are not on the list. The list was comprised by Newsweek people, and they put 130 names on it.
130?
130, and how much they made, and who is the most known, and sort of letting us know we better be aware that we are eating news that these guys are serving to us.
Right, well.
All the news that's fit to print.
Right.
All the news that's fit to eat.
Okay.
What are we going to do?
We're gonna sign off for now, and I'm gonna go and think about it and see if I can come up with a better idea than what I've given you so far.
No, I like your ideas.
You
You
do?
always help me clarify what I should be thinking.
Well, that's nice of you
And
to say that.
I like you.
I like you too.
Okay.
Shall we kiss and say goodbye?
Let's make a kiss and say hello.
Hello. See you next week.
This is AI.R. See you next week.